Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Royals is a light area control game. It's put up by Arcane Wonders and has a Dice Tower collection on it. Now, I got this game for free on the Dice Tower cruise, and it was a game I was really excited about playing. I had demoed it at the Dice Tower, but I found out that it's a remake of Head of State, which I already had, but I hadn't played it yet, so I played the Royals version. And at the booth, they kind of told me the differences between the two, so I was excited to play the Royals, which is really supposed to be the, if you will, upgraded version of Heads of State. So what do we get with the Royals? We get a simple kind of ticket-to-ride drawing mechanism of getting these cards, with a little wrinkle, and you get these intrigue cards. And intrigue cards are going to allow you to steal spaces that other people are already on. What is the game? It's an area control game. So you're going to be taking areas of the board, and you're going to be getting these cards that you'll be drawing, or you have some face-up ones, or you take the top one from the deck, and you'll just be matching the crest, or the color, if you will, to play those cards and take spots on the board. And certain spots are worth more points than others. So you kind of have that question of, should I hold out for more cards or just get the spaces? Now, I think I found a somewhat dominant strategy that at the beginning of the game, get as much real estate as you can, right? So that's going to help you out. Some people might go for the bigger points, but I don't know. It just depends on how the draw of the cards are coming up. But for me, I like to just get as many points as possible, and then people can fight you over them. But at least it gives you an opportunity to get some of those end-of-round scoring in the first, but you get a lot of those points. They're just sitting there for the taking. They may not be worth as much as somebody saved up for the king. So be it. And the king spot is harder to get. So maybe it's not dominant, but just a strategy that I've utilized and I haven't lost yet. But that doesn't mean that it would beat all gamers. So take that as you will. You're going to get points for putting areas out, and you want to try to get as many areas as possible because you're going to get a bonus for that. At the same time you're putting down, every time you put a cube down on the board, you will also be playing one on a matching portrait. And you're going to get points for having the most on those portraits at the end of the game. But also the first one to have one on each of those is going to get quite a big bonus of 16, 12, and 8 points. So those can be very, very big. So there's a few different ways to score points. But let me back this truck up and tell you, this is a simple area control game. This is an entry-level, gateway-type game that nearly anybody can play. It's very easy. There's not a lot going on. There's not special powers. There's no way to blow things up. You're just kind of going through this pattern, and you do it for 3 rounds. One of the good things about the game is it also stays about where it should on game length. The game doesn't drag on too long, and it's not too short. You have a very satisfying experience. The artwork is amazing. The components are really good. Even though you're really just playing down generic cubes, the cubes are big, clunky, and very well made. And my copy didn't have a whole lot. There were like a half a cube because the production wasn't very good. Had a lot of great experiences with this game so far. And what I'd recommend, if you're looking for a light area control game that anyone could play, and maybe they play Ticket to Ride, they're familiar with that drawing mechanism, let's do something else with the cards. Let's have this area control and the scoring mechanism versus the trains. I think they'll be able to pick this up quite easily. Royals is one that I'm going to recommend to you, and one I'll be keeping around for quite a while. Here's Royals. This is from Arcane Wonders. This is Dice Tower Essential. Beautiful artwork right here on the front. It has all the major characters you'll be playing in the game. It's a Ticket to Ride size box, which is a good size box to sit on the shelf. And when you open it up, you will see a rule book that will match that. We'll take a look at that in just a few minutes. You'll have a beautiful board, which will open up in just a moment. And you're going to see a custom insert that you'll have in here. Now you have the different cubes that I set over here. I have the cards, and you'll see these will just have, they're okay quality, not the best in the world, but they're fine. And there's really going to be different colors and different crests that you'll see on there. You're going to have these, which will be the intrigue cards. And they're just going to have 2 on there instead of 1. You'll see little icons at the top. So very well designed here. And these are really, really neat. So these are cardboard. These are each of the players that you'll be going for area control over. Whoever has the most cubes will score it. But if there's a tie, you actually break it into 2 pieces, and the amount of points is on the other side. So it's really, really neat little gimmick that they have here about how these are each puzzle pieces and the points. So let's see again. The Duke is a 10-pointer, but if 2 people get him, he's only worth 3. So you would just pull him apart, and that's how that would score. So very, very cool. You also have a bag of little tokens that will be placed on the board to signify how the scoring will work. These are all good quality. Nothing bad there. So here's the board. You're going to have Europe, big surprise here. You're going to have pictures that will be of all the people that you'll be doing. It's great with how much influence they are and how much you have to put out. You're going to have a little bit of the time track down here that will be utilized for scoring purposes. Everything is really, really well done. The colors and the insignias here will showcase the 4 different sections on the board that you'll have. You set up the game board, you'll put these little tokens out on the board. They're signified by not only the shape, the color, and the number. Easy to set up. And you'll have the end of round scoring down over here. Whenever you score something, you simply take it off the board, and that is of your points. So no point track, you just have these hidden scoring that you'll have. During the game, you have 2 sets of decks. You'll have the country decks, and you have the intrigue deck. You can always take 1 of each, so 1 from this and 1 from this, or you can take 3 of these. So think of Ticket to Ride, a little bit of a mechanic here. So you'll have a number of these face up on the board, and then you're free to take any of these. You can take, on your turn, you can take 1 of each of these, or the top of the deck. If you take 1 from the top of the deck, you can take these, or take another one however you want to do, but these are the cards that will be available to you. In addition, like I said, you can take 1 of these and an intrigue card, if you will, which will have 2 countries on it, and I'll show you what those are for. If on my turn I have 3 yellow cards, I could definitely place it right here. Right here, you'll see it requires 3 yellow cards to place there. I would put my cube there and discard my 3 yellow cards. When I do that, I will also find the portrait of the character that I'm pushing on here. In this case, it is the Countess. Now, these portraits will be lined up on the other side of the table. People can clearly see how many cards are required, how many victory points. I would then take a cube and put it on her. Now, cubes placed on portraits will stay there to the end of the game. Whoever has the most will score these points, and if there's a tie, you will break it apart, and each of you will score the points on the back. Now, the cubes that are here can be taken off. It can only be 1 in each section of the game. What I would need to do is play the 3 cards that are required to place a cube there, and one of these intrigue cards that has that on it. So this has a yellow on it. I can play the 3 intrigue, and I will take the purple, shift it over here, and put the yellow here. Now, the yellow has 2 influence, and they now own that area. The purple player can always go back and try to take that area again, but he would also have the intrigue and the cards that are required. Now, how do you score points? So when a person first puts a place here, he will take this right here. Whoever scores on bottom, if he had put things on the bottom, he would still get these points right here. So these will be taken up usually in the first round. Everybody will grab these points as quickly as possible. If you're able to get a cube in each of these areas on the board, then you will take the higher of the shields. So in this case, it would be 6, and the second person able to do it will get 4, and the third and fourth will get nothing. Another way to score points is when you're the first person to have a cube on all of these portraits, then you will get the 16 points, second person gets 12, and third person gets 8. Now, there are a couple little caveats to the game. If you're going for the king space, which is this guy, and there's a king in each area, it will cost you 2 intrigue cards in order to take 1 off him, because he's very influential. In addition, if you don't have the cards to do exactly what you want, you can use any 3 colors any 3 cards to represent 1. So if I really need a blue card, I could spend these 2 reds and a yellow and say, okay, these are blue. So let's say I needed a 3, and I had 2 blue, but I was having a tough time to get the third one. I can use these 5 cards. So 1, 2, and these 3 would equal 1 to equal 3. So now I have 3 blues, and I would be able to take this area right here, scoring this point. If I went attacking a yellow and I didn't have it, I could spend 2 intrigue cards, and they can be any color I want. In this case, I say, this is yellow, and I would play the cards in addition that I need to take over an area. At the end of the round, you will come down to this track down here. Now, for each area, you will see who controls the most or has the most influence there. If you look here on the right side, each of them have an influence. This one's 2, 2, 1, 4, 2. So you will count up who has the most influence, and they will get the number 1. So in the blue, it's between 10 and 4. It's a 6-point difference. We're down here in green, it's 6 and 5, only 1 point difference. So blue's way more valuable than green is if you can score that many points. So it's not how many cubes you have out. You add up the influence that you have. So if you were the king and over here, you would have 6 points of influence with just 2 cubes. That's very important. And you'll play 3 rounds of the game. You add up the number of points. Whoever has the most is the winner. Who should buy this game? Anyone looking for an entry-level gateway area control game. Families can play this. A little bit of take that in that, as you'll be taking spots other people have, but you have to earn it. You have to get the cards to do that. You can't just, I'm going to just take this because I do this random card, which is really nice. Gamers will like this. This is that light game, but I think people will still, either like Ethnos or something like that, and you want it without the powers. There's a lot going on here. So I like Royals. I think it's a really good one. I think a lot of people, if they tried it out before they bought it, they would like it. It just depends on how light you like your games. If you don't like light games at all, probably isn't going to appeal to you. But if you don't mind them or even prefer them, this is one you definitely should check out. It's one of the most smooth area control game experiences that I've had. So we're going to be keeping this around. We're playing this with our family quite a bit. I like this one. Definitely.
Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel. Lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing games.